How's everybody doing? All right? We'll have but about 7 minutes. All right? So we got to do this quick, fast, and in a hurry. Would y'all help me? Come on, put your hands together like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you got some room, can you move like that? Yeah, that's it. Make me feel good. Make me feel like I'm in church. You know what I mean? All right, here we go. Praise Him. Everybody. Everybody praise Him. With a loud voice. With a loud voice. Change the atmosphere. Feel it like heaven in the room. Y'all get that to the field. Feel it like heaven in the room. Let's do it one more time. Praise Him. Praise Him. That's it. That's it. I see. I see it. Praise Him. Come on, put them hands together for us. With a loud. With a loud voice. Change the atmosphere. Feel it like heaven in the room. All right, look. Lift them up. Like heaven in the room.
Are you all ready for change? Who's willing to assist in the process of leading?
Second President, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Wow. So I came here to give you a speech. At the end of this speech, it's more like a speech. I just kind of want to talk to you. And besides, I'm a little out of practice, you know. I'm a little rusty at this. I mostly do my foundation work, and I feel like I'm sort of like an old horse that won a lot of races, you know, and then every 2 years, they just come haul me out of the stable to see if I can still run. But I want to say something seriously. A couple of weeks ago, Hillary and I celebrated our 32nd anniversary. And we met now well over half our lifetimes ago in 1971. What I want you to know is that if she had asked me to do this and we had never been married, I'd be here campaigning for her tonight. Because I will next year celebrate my 40th year as a voter. I hate that, but it's true. You know, I spent most of my life being the youngest person doing anything I was doing. One day I woke up, I was the oldest guy in every room. I know I had a good time between here and there, but I don't quite know how it happened so fast. It was a great honor for me to be president, but when I was a young man, I took seriously my responsibilities as a voter. I always tried to figure out, now where is America now in its long journey? And what are the needs of our people? What is the potential of our country? Where are we in the world? I always, even when I was very young, tried to figure this stuff out and tried to be a responsible voter. And I'm telling you, in the 40 years I have been voting, when I vote for her next year, I sincerely believe she is the best qualified, best suited non-incumbent I have ever had a chance to vote for. I want to share with you why I feel that way as quickly as I can, and I hope you'll just remember some of the things I say and share it with your friends and neighbors and urge them to go vote in this caucus. A caucus is more trouble than a primary. You go to a primary, you stand in line, you go up, you vote, you leave. Caucus, you go to a room, 100 people show up. They say, okay, everybody for Hillary stand over there, everybody for Senator Obama over there, everybody for Senator Edwards, Governor Richardson, Senator Biden, you guys stand over there. Then you count up. If you got 15%, you survive. If not, it's like one of those, remember that TV show where they kept eliminating the talent? That's what it is. So they eliminate. Then they spend an hour or so where the people who do have more than 15% devour the poor supporters of the ones who don't. And they try to get them to switch over. Then after you argue about that for a while, all those people have to pick their second choice or leave, then you count again. This is a lot of trouble. I think your country and our children's future are worth a lot of trouble. If Bill Clinton can still give a talk, but it's too much trouble to go to the caucus. I'm going to tell you something. It is not too much trouble. It'll be the best investment you make this year as a citizen of this country. It's about you, our children, our grandchildren, our future, and don't you let anybody take this election away from you. It belongs to you. So, here's why I believe, by a good long stretch, we ought to elect your president. There's a lot of good in the modern world. All you got to do is walk around Las Vegas. There's a lot of prosperity. There's a lot of opportunity. Look at this crowd. This crowd is more diverse than it would have been if we'd had a political rally here 30 or 40 years ago, isn't it? There are more people of color. There are a whole lot more women. There are a lot more young people here. We passed the Americans for Disabilities Act, so we have to make space. We were blind for years to people just as smart as the rest of us, with just as much contribution to make the rest of us, who happen to have certain physical disabilities that kept them going. This is a better, more interesting, more diverse country than it was 30 years ago. There are good things about the modern world, but there are three huge problems that affect America and our since I left office. Wow. And I still see the presidents, but now I can walk the streets and get out in the country and I talk to people. I raise money from the wealthiest Americans for my foundation, but my office is in Harlem, where I walk the streets. I live in Westchester County, which has a lot of rich people and one of the largest immigrant populations in incomes, education, and health care, and we got to do something about it. Go figure. All these people in Washington tell us we're in the 6th year of an economic recovery. And by some numbers we are. Here's what it looks like. Almost all the benefits went to rich people like me. I love saying this. I never had a nickel when I got out of the White House. And Republicans were so mean to me. You remember that? Yeah. But once I got rich, I was the most important person in the world. But median wages, the ones in the middle, not average. Average includes the richest Americans. The ones in the middle have the global warming and the loss of essential resources, like trees and farmland and water. I am so glad Al Gore got that Nobel Prize. They ridiculed him. And the third problem, we know in terms of Al-Qaeda and 9/11, it's identity conflicts. People are thrown together as never before. I mean, look at this crowd. Look how diverse this crowd is, right? And how come we're all having such a good time? Not because we have given up our identity. African Americans, the Latinos, the Asian Americans, the Christians, the Jews, the Muslims, the Buddhists, the whoever's in here. Nobody's been asked to give up their identity, but we all stand here close together and have a big time. Why? Because we know down deep inside that the thing that makes it possible for us to be who we are is that our common humanity is even more important than our interesting differences. Big deal. And finally, you ought to vote for because of climate change, because she thinks it's the greatest opportunity to create jobs since we mobilized for World War II. And let me just talk about this a minute. The world is warming, and it's going to be bad if we don't do something about it. But if we do something about it, and the Chinese and the Indians, the others don't do something about it, it'll still get bad, because it doesn't matter where you put this stuff in the air. It still warms the planet. We can't do any of this if all we do is wring our hands and talk about how terrible it's going to be. That's not how we responded when the Soviets put up Sputnik. We started a space race. Turned out to be good for us. And all kinds of good things have happened coming out of our efforts in space that helps us here on Earth. when the Great Depression happened, we didn't just sit around and whine about it. We got on the stick and did things about it, right? Now, here's what I want to tell you. The main reason wages have not increased in this decade, but did increase when I was president, is the number of jobs and the wages the new jobs pay. The jobs created in this decade pay 20% less than the jobs lost. When I was president, the jobs we created paid more than the average jobs lost, and there were a whole lot of them. You cannot run a big country and give working people a decent living and maintain a middle-class lifestyle unless every 5 to 8 years in a global economy you find a source of new jobs. This decade's source of new jobs was clean energy, and this government of ours walked away from it. But look who didn't. You know the English have the European economy most like ours, right? Their unemployment rate's what ours is. Their wages are going up. They don't have any increase in inequality. Why? Because they're going to beat their climate